right. Preview show for week 3 here. Back as always, Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. Got my beer.
Thursday.
Dom's drinking.
I'm drinking a normal drink. I
What the,
forgot what today was, so sorry
I
guys.
know, I know.
What
Loser.
what are you drinking over
Um,
there?
what's that?
What are you
Oh, right
drinking?
now, Land Shark. I
That's
got a
yeah, that's what
High
I thought that
Life.
was.
Yeah, Land Shark for now. Unpopular opinion. Only good thing that Jimmy Buffett has ever done with his life. Um, but I got a
I'm
High
I'm not
Life.
not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, no. Mm,
So
This
that and
is
a high
good.
life.
Yeah, I got a High Life ready in the chamber here.
All right.
So, all right, what do we got today? Um, yeah, we'll get into some of the games for the weekend here. Do our gambling and fantasy bits here at the end. We got some time at the end. We'll throw some throw something together here a little bit. Um, let's start with the Thursday night game. I
Um
honestly couldn't really care less about this game. Like, just
yeah, it's kind of
genuinely.
pointless. I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously not pointless. If the Patriots win, it's actually the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. So I'm kind of
Oh,
hoping
for
for that.
sure. Yeah, I mean, this is like a lose-lose scenario for Rodgers right here because if he comes out and like plays great, it's like cool, it's the Patriots. But if they lose, he's
It's
going to
the
get blasted
Patriots.
for 10
Yeah,
days about
I
losing
love
to
it.
the
It's
Patriots.
great. So
Yeah, that's the only intriguing part about this is like
yeah, I mean,
mildly rooting for the Patriots here.
yeah, I do expect though Garrett Wilson to have a pretty good game outside of that. I
Yeah,
mean, I expect the Jets offense to have a decent game.
for sure. Yeah, I think they
Yeah, I mean,
should. I
yeah,
mean, the
the
Pats
picks
defense is going
suggest,
to be
yeah,
tough because it is talented. Like, I am curious, like, what Christian Rodriguez is going to be able to do with Garrett Wilson because, I
yeah,
mean, he balled out in week 1, but I mean, at some point the Patriots playing people tough thing is going to come to an end because there's just not enough talent on that field. And Brissett
yeah,
can. I mean, we've seen him do it before too. Like he can go 3-4 games where he looks functional and is keeping different teams in like in contention for a little bit there. I mean, he did
yeah,
it with the
and then
Colts a few years ago when Luck retired. Like it's just he's he's a good backup, but that's about it. It's
yeah.
not he's not the guy you want playing long enough.
No, the wheels are gonna fall off and they'll come back down. It'll happen.
Yeah.
We'll see
Plus
what
this,
tonight brings.
I am looking at this. The point total for tonight is set at 38.5. So we are in
Not
for
great. Snoozer.
nothing special.
Yeah.
Nothing special here tonight.
Well,
So, I mean, I think we're both on the Jets side of this. It'll just be,
yeah.
you know, does Rodgers look a little bit better again and against a defense that is, it is solid for sure. But other than that, I have no real thoughts, opinions, or concerns about this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Speaking of low point totals,
Oh, hell
again,
yeah.
maybe my favorite game of this weekend, Chargers Steelers.
Yes, sir.
Chargers coming out
It's
to the Berg.
so it is Steelers home opener, so it's gonna be packed. Big game. Harbaugh is coming out for blood. He's already said that. But I don't know, man. I was looking, neither team allows a lot of rush yards. Both teams don't really pass the ball right now. So I'm curious as to what these offenses are going to look like against these defenses. It's the biggest thought process that I had today was trying to figure this game out and how I want to approach it. I don't expect anything. I just don't.
I
Um,
think Harbaugh might run the ball 45 times tomorrow or
he
on
he might
Sunday.
he might
Sorry,
run the ball 45 times for
at least.
104 yards and like that's it.
Yeah, and that like 104 yards and a touchdown, and they win 10-7
I don't
or
even know.
10-6.
I was gonna say you're giving the Steelers a touchdown. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, like I mean, I think that's about where we're at with this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, these two teams are so similar, but the Chargers are just, I think, the better version. Steelers have the better defense,
Yeah.
undoubtedly, but like
I'd say the Steelers
games
have
are
the
won.
more talented defense on paper.
Who's that?
The Steelers have the more talented on paper defense. But
That's fair.
performance-wise, through 2 games, I mean, these are the two best defenses. Flip
Right.
a coin, yeah.
I mean,
But
the Chargers, I think, like outside of Derwin James, Khalil Mack, and Bosa, like it is a little bit of, guys just playing their roles. I
yeah,
mean, you look at that
I
Steelers
agree.
defense, it's Highsmith, it's Watt, it's Hayward, it's Queen, it's Fitzpatrick. I mean, you can go down the list. And I mean, they've the most expensive defense in the league by far and
Yeah,
have had that
yeah,
for the
it's
last like
not
4 or 5 years.
not
So
close.
they are, obviously defensive heavy. Um, this one, I think it's going to be, again, like I said on Tuesday, like how much fun I'm going to have watching this game because it is going to just be ugly and gross
So ugly.
and not fun to watch, but it's like I'm going to have a blast with it. It for me, it just comes down to, and the spread's at 1.5 right now. Steelers are favored. I mean, you get the little
Yeah.
home point swing there, but this one comes down to Joe Wall and Rashawn Slater for me. With
Okay.
on the Chargers side, it's like just having them at the tackle spot gives them the edge for me over Pittsburgh, and obviously
Okay.
Herbert versus Fields and or Russ. I mean, it's supposed to be Fields again this week,
It's
right?
it's Fields again. Yeah.
I didn't
Russ.
know if that was definite. I know they were preparing for it, but
I'd expect Russ back next week against who they playing. The Colts on the road. I
which
expect Russ to play that game.
on a completely different note, if Russ comes out there and bombs next week, oh,
That's
that's
gonna
going to be
be so
fantastic.
great. So great. That's
How quickly do you think they'd cut him?
fast. Fast.
You
No,
think they
no,
would actually cut ties?
no. I
Because that's the
unless
thing
he
that I'm worried
asks.
about. Is like, are they going to be like? They don't have any loyalty to him, but it's also just Pittsburgh, and they drag their feet a lot.
No, unless he asks to be out, and that'll come after a benching, obviously.
Yeah,
So if that happens, then yes, I see him getting released. But the Steelers love to have options for no fucking reason.
and just mediocre options, really. And
Oh, for
regardless, I mean,
sure.
like Fields has looked really solid. They
Yeah, I
just,
just wish we could figure it all out for
or
two
just
straight
bottom out
halves.
once.
Well, it was yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about that right now. It was it was the first half they bombed week one, played really well the second half, came out
Mhm.
firing against the Broncos in the first half, and just didn't do anything in the second half of that game. They couldn't move shit. So it was awesome. It was such a fun time for me. But yeah, they won the game. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how they're probably going to lose this game. And I think if I
Yeah, I
had to
think
place a
this.
bet, money's on the Chargers, but it's going to be close. It's going to be a
Yeah,
low
I think that's the
scoring
right side
game
to
and
be
just
on. I
not
mean,
fun.
public is split right now on this one.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see some? I didn't see who it was. I think it was
I mean, it's
PFT placed their predictions on this game. There's like 10 of them. 8 of them picked the Steelers, and immediately I knew the Steelers are going to lose this game.
yeah, you just don't want the clean sweep
No.
on that. Yeah, I mean, like I'm looking at it here, like according to DraftKings, 59% of the money is on Chargers money line, or I mean the bets. I mean,
Okay.
59% of money line, 62% plus 1.5 for the Chargers against the spread. Um, Again, my favorite part of this: 60% of the money is under 36.
I can't believe it's
Again,
not
I want to
more.
see how low you can take this one. Right
It's
now,
it's
it is
is it the
letting
lowest
you.
game of the week? Yeah, it has to be.
There might have been one lower. I
No,
don't
it
remember.
is it is the lowest game of the week.
Is it? All right, I'll take a look
I
here
mean,
too
if the
because you
Steelers
can
touch
take it
the
all the way
field,
down to
it's gonna be.
23 and a half.
I can't believe they won't let you. I mean, I can't believe they let you go that low.
I mean, I took one last year. It was Steelers Browns last year. I took that one all the way down to 30 and a half. That was as low as it took me. And that was what was it, 13-10 game or something like that?
Wow.
And I was like, I was going to take it down to, I think I even texted you. I was like,
You
I would
said you
take this
almost took
game
it
down
down.
to like 24 points or something like that, or
Yeah,
like 23 and a half or
that would have been
whatever. And it
insane.
wouldn't let me. It just took me down to, let me take it down to 30.
Yeah,
And that was, yeah. And obviously it still hit. It was insane.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really really excited about this game.
I'm gonna drink
Hardball on the
heavily.
sidelines.
I'm gonna take a shot every time the ball's punted. So if you don't hear from me, I'm dead. So
I don't even know if they're going to punt that much because they're just going to be running the ball the whole time. The clock's going to be moving. This game's going to be over in 90 minutes.
I hope so. I truly hope so.
I mean, it's just going to be run, 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 run the whole time. Somebody's
Yeah.
just going to try to move the ball at some point. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I can't wait for this game. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. All right, let's move
Move,
on. I don't want to be
yeah,
depressed
move
anymore.
on to the next 1 o'clock game that we feel is somewhat relevant. I feel like this one's gonna tell a lot of truths. We got Philly going down to New Orleans.
Um,
Saints roll. I think I will start to take them seriously. Like
I'll
if they
take
put
him
up
even more
45
serious. Yeah.
again,
I'll
it's going to
shit
be really
bricks
tough.
and clap. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, in that order, but I do expect
Yep.
Philly to be more of a challenge this week. Although AJ Brown's not going to be playing, so it'll be somewhat interesting to see how Philly approaches that. But again, I think the Saints are going to just play hard, play fast. Derek Carr is clearly not afraid to do anything
No,
at this
he's
point,
not.
whether it's run the ball or throw the ball 50 times. So I love what Clint Kubiak. I can't say it enough. I love what Clint Kubiak's
It
doing in
is
that
wildly
offense, and
impressive.
it
I
is
will
so
say,
impressive to make
I
Derek
will
Carr
say,
look like an
sorry.
MVP caliber player.
Oh yeah,
So I don't want to place a bet on this game if I don't have to, but gun to my head right now, I'd probably say the Saints just because they look like the better team.
yeah. There are two little nuggets that got thrown into my head, both from Nick Wright that got placed in my head here.
Of course.
So Alvin Kamara over the last 2 years combined has scored 2022, 2023 combined scored 10 receiving and or rushing touchdowns. He had 10 total touchdowns in 2 years. He had 4 on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's been playing
insane.
out of his mind. Yeah, so he's hot. And props to them for figuring that out. On the flip side, though, he did kind of lay out, and I was thinking about this a little bit. We've seen Derek Carr go on these little runs, mini runs, that are half a season where he's just
Yeah.
world beater, just unreal. Looks fantastic. He did it in Oakland. Yeah, they were still Oakland at the time, where he looks fantastic. Well, if you go, including these first 2 games, back to last year, in his last 8, he's 7-1, and
That's
has looked
crazy.
great. Yeah, his numbers during that stretch, I didn't write them down or anything like that, but during that stretch, has looked really, really good. So my thing is, we might be due for a Derek Carr collapse at this point.
Now, are you talking like a one-off, like a one-game collapse, or like done
I
the rest of
think
the
I
year?
think Derek Carr is gonna kind of go back to what Derek Carr
Okay.
was the past couple of years.
Okay.
Because he would I liked Derek Carr a lot when he was with the Raiders because
Yeah.
he would have those flashes, but then he would just shit the bed for a month
Yeah.
and a half and can't get anything going. And then it just went to shit that last year in with the Raiders, and then with what was it now the first 2 years with New Orleans.
Yeah.
Just can't seem to get anything going. So for that, I would not be shocked if this is the kind of where the wheels start to come off a little bit. But again, like we just said, if they come out here and score in their first 7 possessions again, it's going to be real tough to
Deny that.
to kind of say anything about that at this point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
with
mean
that,
that's just
with that being said, I'm still gonna lean New Orleans right now. Obviously, my thoughts and opinions might change by Sunday, but you guys won't hear that. Asher will, but you guys won't.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I am on the Eagles side of this right now. I just feel like they might be a little bit more desperate.
That's fair. Definitely are.
And I think desperate and just especially in this spot, frustrated with how they kind of gave away Monday night. So even
Yeah.
on a short week, I think Hurts will move around a lot more. He did a little bit in that Falcons game too, but like, he's going to give him a different look than what the Saints saw the first 2 weeks of this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, definitely. All right, where are we moving to now?
All right, let's talk about my mental health here real quick. Ravens
I'll let you go.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll let you
I
go.
mean, I said week 1 was kind of just like a shit show anyway, and a weird kind of, this is how the season's going to go kind of thing.
Yeah.
And really felt like Ravens kind of had to win that game. This really is a must win at this point. And it sucks that it's coming in this spot, having to go down to Dallas, and Dallas getting embarrassed at home. It almost feels like a must win for Dallas as well here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little stressed about it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm still, holding on hope. I mean, we talked about it the other day too. Like Ravens offense has definitely been productive over the first
Yeah.
2 weeks, regardless of the record. I am nervous about the O line because in the second half against Oakland, I mean, they were just a turnstile.
Mm-hmm.
Falele was getting cooked. Lamar was, scrambling for his life there for a little bit. I don't know what to make of this right now. I mean, I'm leaning Ravens because I have to at this point. I have to kind of speak this one into existence. But
Completely fair.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is a big one. You don't want to have, the AFC Championship hangover kind of bleed you into 0-3 because the schedule does not get any easier. I mean, they got a tough draw. I mean, this is the schedule was the reason I don't have them winning
Yeah.
the division. Like
Yeah. We talked
this
about
team
this
is too
on.
talented to miss the playoffs, and right now, like they're on the cusp of putting themselves in
The
the
biggest hole.
worst possible position.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday. They have a slight break after these like next 3 games. They get a easier bit, and then it gets harder again. I am gonna go against you though. I do think Dallas does take this one. Unfortunately for your mental well-being.
Yeah,
I think
appreciate that.
yeah, I got you. I think Dallas has a little bit more of the tools going into this week. Ravens have kind of looked, especially with their offensive line, have been all over the place. And Micah Parsons is probably going to take advantage of that and make you guys regret not really investing heavier into that O-line this year. In
Yeah, I
fact, you
mean that was
guys
the thing.
actually took away from it.
Yeah, and blind faith in just that organization where
Yeah,
they move up guys. You have the faith in them to put themselves in the right position. I mean, if they win that game last weekend, I think even if they lose this Sunday, you can kind of still chop it up to, hey, it's guys aren't playing in the preseason. It's just we got 3 new starters. It takes a month to gel, but
yeah,
you're desperate now for this one because
yeah,
you pissed that one away on Sunday. Like you have to have this game.
yeah. And that's the unfortunate part of that is you
Yeah.
feel like you need to win a game that is gonna be
Tough.
probably one of your most difficult games you're gonna play all year. You're playing a tough defense. You're playing a what can be very high power offense. So you need to make sure you put up points, but you can't do that because your offensive line has been so bad.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's gonna be a
definitely the concern.
tough game for you.
Yeah, because even down the stretch here, I mean, outside of the division games, because they haven't played one yet,
Yeah,
and obviously that division is always brutal.
yeah,
But after this week, their non-division games are Bills, Commanders, Bucks, Broncos, Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Texans. I mean,
yeah,
you get breaks with the Giants, Commanders, Broncos, but the Bucks have looked fantastic through 2 weeks. The Chargers that's not an easy game. If nothing else, you're just getting your
no,
teeth kicked in. Eagles, you and I've talked, we both have them winning that division, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so like, I mean, and then the Texans. Like, I mean, it's not an easy schedule whatsoever.
No, it's going to
And
be a
that's
struggle.
the scary part
Yeah.
at this point. So
Well, you have fun with that.
I'm not.
Sweat that one out.
I'm
And
already sweating.
while you think about that a little bit harder, we'll slide on over to. Did you want to talk about? Just move
Do
on
we
to the
want to do the
nightcap
injury
there.
bowl?
It's such a messy game.
It is a really messy game, but the one silver lining in it is like I think we'll actually be able to make a proper judgment on Brock Purdy after this game.
Uh, yeah, I agree. I think you'll have an idea. His biggest weapon in this game is going to be Ayuk, and outside of that,
He's got
a
nothing right
black
now. I
there's a
mean,
black hole. Jawan
no
Jennings.
McCaffrey, no Debo. Kittle is not expected to play now this week.
Yeah, so your weapons are Ayuk, Jordan Mason, Jawan Jennings, and a black hole. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, it's better than what Stafford's working with. Tutu Atwell.
That's fair.
What else? What else does he have? I'll wait.
They signed Demarcus Robinson this year.
Yeah, they signed him back. So you got Tutu Atwell and DeMarcus Robinson. That's your 1 and 2 right there. You already are playing with Bryson Hopkins, your backup tight end.
I was gonna say, yeah, Higbee's on IR, right?
Yeah,
Or is he
I think
is
he's
he on
a pup.
IR on
I think he's on a
pup
pup.
list?
If you start the season on IR, you don't play.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I couldn't remember exactly which one it
or
was there.
that's not necessarily true. It's technical. I don't
It
want to
depends
get
on
into
when
that,
you go on
but
the IR.
yeah,
It's all good. I mean,
it's very
yeah.
specific. Um,
That'll be the
so
next one that I dive into after I went through trying to figure out fucking NFL contracts and how it
yeah,
and cap hits and shit like that because that made my head hurt after 45 minutes.
yeah. So, the game's going to be interesting. I think both teams combined might have 40 players on IR or expected to not play this week, and somehow the over/under set to 43. So I think that should be adjusted.
I mean, well, they have it. What? It's 43 and a half, 6.5 point
If the
spread.
Rams
So,
score more than 13 points, I'd be shocked.
I mean, that puts you at what, like 25?
18, 25, 18.
Yeah, 25-18.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you would need, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's more so coming down to the Rams running game, and they get Williams and more so Williams involved, just in the
He
passing
hasn't
game a little
gotten
bit there.
involved. Yeah, they haven't had him involved all season for the most part. It's weird. Um,
Yeah,
that's really all I have for it. I'll lean. We talked about this on Tuesday, I think. I'm gonna lean the Niners just because I think they are going to do what it takes to get done, and their offensive line is healthier than the Rams.
that's fair.
So I think that's going to make the biggest difference of the day. Outside of that, the game's going to be a mess. This is the second messiest game of the week besides the Steelers and Chargers.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, this one comes down to the desperation factor a little bit for me. So that's why I kind of lead the Rams on this.
Yeah.
Even as a pretty large underdog, I just think, again, Rams can't go to 0-3. Cannot. Especially
It's an uphill battle.
Seahawks
man.
are 2-0 right now. I mean, the Niners, they're going to get guys back at some point here.
It's-
And they just lost
Cardinals
to the
look good.
Cardinals. I mean, that's a division loss. So
Cardinals
you don't
look
like
good,
having
man.
that
Yeah.
on the record there.
It's
I mean,
tough.
that division could get real chaotic really quick here.
Yeah. Speaking of the Cardinals, though, I do want to move to my favorite game of the week,
Cardinals
which is
Lions.
I'm so excited for this game.
All right.
You want to talk about points being scored? It's this.
I was going to say this one might be the highest total of the week.
51.5.
Yeah, I was just double checking here. Yeah, it's
So
the highest one right now,
I
according to
expect
DraftKings.
I expect a lot of offense, negative defense, especially on Arizona's side. I'd lean Detroit just because of cohesiveness at this point. But man, Arizona's just such a fun team.
Yeah, no, I mean that it is going to be a very fun game to watch. If I wouldn't be glued to the Ravens Cowboys game,
Yeah.
I would make sure to have Red Zone on
I will have
just
Red
to.
This will be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll have it on for the 1 o'clock window, watching all those messes. But I might have to get a second TV for
Just-
Sunday, honestly.
I have an
and sign in and
iPad.
have Red Zone on one and the Ravens game on the
Yeah,
other, because there is, yeah, this 4 o'clock window is amazing.
it's so good.
Uh,
It's so good.
yeah,
Yeah, I
again,
just wanted
this
to
is,
touch. Yeah,
yeah, I
go
think,
ahead.
again, this is a little bit of a desperation thing for the Lions. Not as much as like we talked about with the Rams and the Ravens there, but
Yeah,
they kind of gave that game away last week. And I mean, Dan Campbell was in tears in the post game presser,
yeah.
knowing he kind of like fucked up the
Messed up
clock,
again.
especially at the end
Yeah,
of the first half there.
yeah.
Cost them 3 points.
Nothing.
They lose by three.
No,
You
nothing's
know,
worse than Dan Campbell and bad calls. So
yeah. I mean, again, that's the only reason I don't have them picked. I didn't pick them to make it to the Super Bowl or even win
yeah.
it,
Well,
because, like,
I was hoping he would
I
learn. So
mean, love Dan Campbell. Love me some Dan Campbell. However, Dan Campbell's going to get it in Dan Campbell's way at some point in time.
true.
And it's going to be in a
That
big
is true.
spot, and it's going to cost them something else at some point here. Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
it's going to be a very fun game. I want to see if Hutchinson is another game wrecker a little bit. That's just going to be
Oh,
fun to watch. Him just
there's
chasing
no offensive line
Kyler Murray
on
around.
Arizona. So yeah,
Yeah, this could be a
Kyler's
big
more
game
mobile.
for
So
Hutch. But yeah, no, I think it'll be a pretty fun game to watch there.
yeah.
Again, I wouldn't. Most of it is a stay away here. Just looking at the lines here, outside of a money line, just taking the
Mhm.
Lions. But I mean, it's a 3 point spread right now. Like, it's gonna be a fun game. I like it.
For
I
sure.
like that one a lot.
All right, let's go to the nightcap.
Nightcap, Chiefs Falcons. I actually don't have as much to say about this at this particular moment. Little teaser there.
Neither do I.
Oh,
Okay.
look at that.
Interesting.
I just think
I'll give my
Mahomes looked like
overall
shit
thoughts
last
then.
week. Falcons
Yes.
win an emotional game last week. This could get ugly, and it could get ugly fast.
Yes. I think we're on the same boat here,
I think we're both on the same side of this one.
which is
We'll leave it at
interesting
that.
because
We'll
I
discuss
wasn't
it a
thinking
little
about
bit
that.
more. We're gonna hit a little bit more of this one. It looks like here, but yeah, no, I think it's a
Yeah,
big.
I'm
This
with
could
you.
get out of hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Al Michaels or not Al Michaels, Mike Tirico and Collinsworth are going to be searching for side topics by the third quarter. I think at this point.
oh, maybe we're not on the same page.
You think this is going to be a close game? All right, let's just no spoiler. I think Chiefs win in a round.
Oh, okay. I don't.
We're on complete opposite sides of this.
We
one.
are, yeah. Fun fact, guys.
All right, fair
We
enough.
thought-
Yeah, no, we thought we were on the same page here.
No,
No,
I am
I
on-
think Chiefs
I am on a-
handle business.
Okay, fair enough. I don't agree with that take. I actually think the Falcons are going to win this game.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't
Hey,
like the Falcons in this spot.
I have my reasons. Pacheco's down, out for the next couple weeks. I don't know what that.
I just don't think it's going to hurt them as much for a game.
I would agree on most teams, but the Falcons secondary is probably one of the best in the NFL. They are very good. They're very good at reading the quarterback and reading plays. I am curious to see how Mahomes adjusts to that. He's thrown 3 interceptions already on the year. He hasn't looked amazing, but I mean, he's still Patrick Mahomes. He can turn it on at any second. Travis Kelce is, I don't know, vanish.
Again, I think that's just a Travis Kelce conserving energy at this point kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't think you're going to see much out of him until January. Like he's
Yeah.
just kind
So-
of be there. He'll make like if they really need him to in a game in like week 7, mid-season, just for him to make a play. I think he's going to show up for that. But like come January, February, or January really is like it'll be divisional weekend, and he's got 10 catches for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like just out of
some
nowhere, the dude's
ridiculous
had
stuff.
like 2 touchdowns all year, and he's got 700 receiving yards on the year. Like then he just goes nuts in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons found a way to win this game.
I would be, honestly. I would be, honestly, and I like the Falcons this year. I like, I was happy to see Kirk Cousins kind of start to heat up a little bit there in a primetime game. That last drive was impressive. I don't think this is the spot, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, fair. I just
Yeah,
wouldn't be shocked.
fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, let's move
Let's
on
go
to
to the more
your
important of the Monday night games here.
yeah.
Jags Bills. We talked the other day. If this gets out of hand, I will still find a way to defend Trevor Lawrence. Just mark it down. I'm gonna find a way. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
He's got to be better. I think there's some desperation here as well, but this is the desperation factor that I am not going to fall for.
That's good because I think it's going to be
All
a
I want is that
bad day.
I would like him to, keep it close, make a few big
Yeah.
plays. I mean, if they can keep
Definitely
it
fair.
to a field goal game, and if it comes down to Bills kick a field goal at the end to win it, I can live with that.
Mhm.
But I will still be stressed for the Jags, obviously, because again,
No, yeah.
0-3 is kind of a death sentence.
Yeah, it typically is for a lot of teams because it's a hole to climb out of, not one that's done often enough. So for the teams that were expected to be good, Bengals, Jags, Ravens that are 0-2 right now, I don't see all three of them winning this weekend, unfortunately. One of them is
Right.
going to fall pretty hard. And I actually think that team that's going to fall the hardest is probably going to be the Bengals.
That's what I'm most concerned about, honestly. Like, I have more to say about that one a little bit
I mean,
than I do
all
the
I
Jags
really
Bills,
have to
because
say about
I think we're both on the same side. Like, the Bills
the
are
Bills are
probably
going to
win
win.
the
They're going to look
win.
great. Josh Allen's going to play out of his mind again. What more do I can't
Really,
I can't do it
Yeah.
enough.
either Trevor Lawrence has to play maybe the best game of his life. Like, he
Yeah.
needs to look like he
Yeah.
did in the second half of that playoff game, but for 4 quarters, or Josh Allen has to literally be tripping over his own feet
Which
for
he
the Jags
could.
to win that game.
He could.
I mean, we've seen it before. I mean,
But
his peaks and valleys are kind of all over
I just
the
don't
place.
anticipate it.
I don't either. I'm not taking any stock in that. The Commanders Bengals, though, however,
I love Jaden Daniels. I just
Yeah.
do. It happens to me every year. You give me a high upside rushing quarterback, I'm gonna fall in love with him. It happened with Kyler. It happened with Anthony Richardson, and it's happening again with Jaden Daniels.
except I
every
think
part.
Jaden Daniels might be the best of those three. Except, I mean,
I
Anthony
don't
Richardson
agree.
for me
I
is at
don't
the
agree.
bottom of that list because I did not
So
buy
out
it.
of I
But
Kyler
Kyler just throws such a good ball. Oh my god, it's so pretty when he throws the
If
football.
Kyler was 2 inches taller, dude, we'd be having a much different conversation about Kyler every single
Oh
year.
yeah,
Which it's just so unfortunate that his height is always a
but the
prominent
fact that
question.
he is as little as he is, but he moves so well and he throws on the run so well. Like
he's good.
He's got a fucking gun on him too.
Yeah. All right. We're not here to talk that much about Kyler right now, but
No, but
Jaden
I
is
do
good.
like of the 0-2 teams that we just listed. Like of the 0-2 teams that are supposed to be good, Bengals, Rams, Ravens.
Bill, not
I'm
Jags.
throwing the Jags in there too because
Yeah,
I
I
thought
know.
they were supposed to be good or better, bounce back. Anyway, regardless, in terms of like real shockers
Mm-hmm.
and real kind of like questions, I'm probably still gonna pick the Bengals to win this game,
I'm not.
but I would not be like they're on upset watch.
They
I
are.
think.
I mean, is it an upset if they lose
I
again?
mean, to Jaden Daniels, probably. I mean, it's going to be
Yeah.
considered an upset.
I guess I mean after this week, is it really going to be that big of an upset?
True. I just think the scary part with it is the Bengals ownership is so sloppy anyway,
Oh yeah.
and they've already kind of butchered some of the Jamar Chase stuff because they don't want to pay people. I mean, Joe Burrow's the only guy that they've ever really paid.
Yeah.
Like in
that's
the
fair.
history of that organization, they just don't spend money. And if they fall to 0-3 and the season just kind of snowballs into a disaster year, I mean, T Higgins, this is clearly his last year there.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind it's not, and they
Or,
probably will then focus on trying to get Jamar his contract following.
but that's what I'm saying is like, are they going to try to get him a contract, or are they going to just go, we'll just draft another? And if they're drafting high enough, they're just going to go, we'll take Luther Burden, who wants Jamar Chase.
I think most people would prefer Jamar Chase in that
Oh,
realm
I
of
think that too, but
possibilities.
I
Yeah,
don't think what's his name? Mike Brown? Is that the owner? Is that his name?
I couldn't tell you. It's
Anyway,
not a huge
Bengals
stretch.
ownership, I forget his name off the top of my head now. But I just I mean the dude was making them pay for drinks, snacks, and fucking equipment in the team
Yeah,
facilities up until like a year ago. They didn't practice indoors until a year ago. Like,
yeah, and
dude's
that's
stingy
tough.
and doesn't spend money. Like, I could see them
Yeah,
just moving off of shit
yeah,
real
that's
quick
definitely
if this thing
true.
goes sideways. But again, we're still early in the year,
Yeah,
and
we're on week 3. We'll see what
I
happens.
will laugh a lot if Jaden Daniels does pull a W out of this one in Cincy. I
Oh,
will have fun with
I'd
that.
be so much fun, especially after your Ravens lose. That'll be great.
All right. Well, unnecessary.
Fair. All right.
Fair enough. All right. Let's move on to some fantasy and gambling here. Let you take the forefront on the
All right.
fantasy here.
All right. These are some guys I like, some guys I hate. I'm gonna do it again because it hurt me so much last week. I want to be hurt again. Brandon Ayuk. He's the only option at this point. You cannot hide. You have to do something, right? Like that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
what if
like
they're
if
going to
you
have
guys
any
are gonna
offense? It's got to
win,
go through him.
yeah, it has to. So expect him to have a big game. Just Baker, he's gonna cook again. They're playing the Broncos. Broncos didn't look great last week. Despite what you may think, their defense was not good. It's just
Yeah.
the Steelers' offense was just that poor. So I expect Baker to really embarrass that team. Kamara, we talked about him earlier. He had 4 touchdowns last week. I think he had 1 or 2 in week 1. I just expect the Saints in total to have a good offensive game, and Kamara again, he's going to be the focus of that. Kincaid, my note is literally just time to shine. He, he hasn't done
It's about time.
anything.
Yeah, he's done nothing
Yeah.
for
So
two
I
weeks
don't
here.
think it's his fault necessarily. It's just like offensive scheming. But I do expect him this week to actually make that next step into. It took him 3, 4 weeks last year to really get going. So hopefully he does it 1 or 2 weeks sooner this year. Um, I have written down everyone in the Lions Cardinals game. Like if you have somebody just play them, I can't be any more clear about that. And then I do have Devontae Smith. He's your biggest weapon right now for that Philly team. He got used a lot last week. I expect them to use that same formula this week with AJ Brown being out. The guys I just don't like is the combo of Najee Harris and or J.K. Dobbins this week. It's going to be a defensive game. We talked about that. Neither team allows rushing yards to happen. Steelers allowed like 85 yards week 1, so expect that to kind of continue on that kind of realm. It's 100. They've allowed 156 rushing yards total through across 2 weeks, which J.K. Dobbins has done almost in both games. So
Yeah.
I expect that to not continue this week for him. Here is the shocker of the week on my guys I don't like. Mahomes, I don't like him this week for
Mm.
fantasy. I don't
Yeah, I'm going to
really
give
like
you some
having.
stuff here in a minute that's going to make you rethink that one there and explain
I
why I'm
just
on a completely different side of that.
never really liked Mahomes in fantasy in general though. But I don't like the matchup. He's coming off a down week. Really, he hasn't had like an overproductive game yet this season. You'd expect it to happen finally. But I do think Atlanta's secondary is just going to be a slight issue for him. I'm not saying he's going to have a terrible game. I'm just saying it's not going to be what you want it to be. ETN is the other guy I have on this. Well, I have 3 more guys, but he has not had a good game yet. He might score you a touchdown, but he'll barely eclipse 10 points. and that Jaguars offense has just kind of looked abysmal. He has less rushing yards than Tank Bigsby does on the season. Fun fact.
Oof. I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was that bad.
Oh yeah. Um, Cole Kmet, until the Bears kind of pull their shit together, I don't want to see him on my fantasy team. And then final guy I have on this list is Zay Flowers. Similar reason to why I had Chris Olave last week. He's going up against. Oh no. Yeah, he's going up against Trayvon Diggs,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a tough battle for him. Kind of what I got. Over to you.
Yeah, the Ravens tight ends might be a good play this week. Either one of them. I think that is going to be a
Definitely.
lot happening with them. Those could be good plays. All right, I'm going to piggyback off of your don't like here,
Okay.
which actually, first of all, here let's address this. We have not had a good start to the year. We are now 3-7 to start the year. Had a tough week last week. Got burned on a
Yeah.
couple overtime games on different ends of it there. Rams plus 3.5 in week one. Lions come down, score a touchdown right away. Kind of kills that one. And then think you can kind of get it back with the Seahawks game going to overtime against the Pats. And then they kick a field goal and win by 3. So that one hurt a little bit. Obviously, the Rams just got routed. Niners fell apart physically, and Sam Darnold magic decided to shine through there. And the new rule to this little segment here is I'm not touching any Colts games until further
Yeah.
notice. Until I have at least a somewhat consistent gauge on what Anthony Richardson is, because I now can't trust you because you lost to Malik Willis on a short week. No,
Yeah.
not a short,
No, no,
not
no.
a short
Long
week,
week.
but still
Long
getting
week.
thrown in there. There's no reason for that. No reason for that.
Yeah.
And I'm upset about it. Anyway,
Did you see that Jordan Love's practicing already?
I did see that.
Like that's insane.
I also fucked up my MCL a few months ago, and it took me like 3 weeks to feel comfortable on stairs.
Yeah.
Again, I'm fat and out of shape. I am not in Jordan Love's condition. However,
But
it hurt, and sometimes even now when I sleep weird, I go, my knee hurts. So that's insane to me. It's been 2 weeks and we're doing drills. Fuck you, dude.
it's 2 weeks today. Oh no, 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like that's unbelievable.
stupid.
He just
It's
doped
insane.
up on a bunch of different random drugs that are legal
Yeah,
for him
he's
to
got so
take.
much cortisol in
That's
his
where
system.
you want to be. Yeah, if you want to be
Or
honest.
cortisone in his system, or whatever it is. The fucking, what do they give him?
I don't even know.
Cortisone?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's
Is that
it's
the
just
one that they
because
give
they
him?
said, "Ooh, Malik Willis, that we can't do that again."
Yeah, I know. Even LaFleur was like, can you try to throw some balls here this week?
He doesn't.
Um,
He doesn't throw the ball.
I know. No, I was saying he said that to Jordan Love. Like, can
Oh,
we? Let's
oh,
see how you feel here. I don't want to have to do this again. I worked
yeah.
some magic 1 week.
I can't do it twice. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull that off twice. But yes, so I do feel good about this week. Actually, I had honestly like 7 games that I really liked, and I was
Hmm.
bouncing, kind of filtered a couple here and there. So I do like this one, at least to kind of get us back to. I mean, a 5-0 week makes us profitable through 3 weeks. 4-1 puts us in a good spot there, and I feel confident on at least having a positive week. I feel
Yeah.
very good about 4-1.
All right.
I like this week. So I'll
I'll make
piggyback off
sure
of yours.
we should clip that, circle back to it next week.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'll take my lumps or take a little victory lap, actual victory lap. I'll just run around my computer in here.
Fair enough.
So I'll piggyback off of your guys you don't like this week. This one might be my favorite one, and this has already moved. I wrote it down at Chiefs -3.5. It has gone down to 3. I love this one. Mahomes off of maybe the worst game he's ever played. And, again, Falcons coming off of a pretty, emotional win, that comeback win there. I like that spot already. However, Mahomes, when he plays in a dome, is 10-0 with 23 touchdowns and 2 picks, and it's like 314 yards a game.
Well, that's gross.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
can't lie
And
to
then
the
if you
facts.
add in the like climate controlled stadiums like retractable domes or and everything like
Yeah.
that, it goes up to I think he's what did I hear? What did I see? It was like 13-1.
Wow, he has a loss. That's impressive.
Yeah, and then 33 touchdowns and 3 picks
Yeah,
and right on 300 yards a game.
that's crazy.
So for those reasons, and I don't normally bet the Chiefs against the spread here because they're not a good, especially when they're favorites, because they're not a good covering team in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
However, in this spot, I think it's going to get ugly. I think this
Yeah, I
could be
agree.
a, you know, you know, Falcons make it close at the end, but this to me screams 30-20, 35-22 kind of game.
Okay.
Like I'm big on that one. Worthy inside on the turf. He's gonna be flying. Um, yeah, I really like the Chiefs in that spot. Next one I like is Philly plus 2.5. And I like them to win this one outright. Again, just kind of a spot there. Kind of talked already about their car and his kind of, you know, he's got 8 games where he looks great, and then it can, the wheels fall off at some point. I think this could be the one where the wheels fall off. And just numbers against the spread. Carr is 22-37-1 in his career against the spread as a favorite. And the Saints, post Drew Brees, are the 4th worst team against the spread at home.
Hmm.
So it's
Interesting.
just like a couple compounding trends that I like on top of
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah.
again, too, like Philly kind of gave that game away on Monday night.
Yeah.
Some bad game managing there. I think they're a little frustrated. Um, I think Hurts played really well without AJ Brown because his numbers
Yeah.
have taken a dip every time he plays without him, but he was moving a lot more, and I think that's gonna happen again. He'll he'll be a little bit more willing to run again. Um, Devontae Smith was productive again. I like the Eagles in that spot there a lot as well.
Okay.
Um, other one I like, I'm going back to the well on Seattle. -4.5 here against Miami. This one just is. I don't have as much on this one in terms of any forms of data or anything, but it's the longest flight that the NFL has right now. Miami to Seattle. It is Skylar Thompson, and we've all seen Skylar Thompson play football, and we've seen Mike McDonald's defenses. I'm not saying the Seahawks are going to run up the score on them, but 20-10 is a touchdown game to me.
Yeah.
The fact that this is at 4.5 kind of blows my mind a little bit. I think it should be more. Feels closer to a touchdown game. We talked about it a little bit earlier too. I got the Rams +7. That one has moved out of my favor just a touch. We are down to 6.5. I saw. Yeah, that's moved down to 6.5 after the Kittle news. I just think this game's going to be close. Um, I don't have the faith in Brock Purdy to run up the score. I think Mason is going to have a huge game for this to kind of get out of hand, and I don't know if he's going to be able to because like the majority of the Rams' injuries are all on the offensive side. Defense is still mostly intact here right now. So I think they are going to be able to put up a fight there and give Stafford a chance at least. I'm not saying Rams win this game in this spot per se, but I do like them to cover a touchdown. This
Yeah.
feels much closer to like a field goal game, like a 26-23 game. I
Yeah.
could see
I
that
buy that.
happening.
I
Like I
buy
think
it.
both of them are going to be able to put up points. I don't, and them getting embarrassed by the Cardinals is again, it's just another spot that I kind of like them in.
I do think the Rams are just going to have a very tough week. That's just it. I don't know how many points they're going to be able to score without two top end wide receivers on the outside in the slot. I just don't know. We're going to find out how they can manage because like I said on Tuesday, if it's like it was in 2021 without Cup for the year or however many games, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I do trust Stafford enough and McVay
No,
enough
it's
to
fair.
they're gonna scheme some guys open in different spots, and again, I think there's gonna be a bigger usage on Kyron
Yeah.
Williams and even Blake Corum.
Yeah, I was also wrong. It was 2022 or 2021. They won the Super Bowl that year.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't even catch that. Good
I'm
work.
catching myself. Yeah.
We're all still learning. And then the last one I have is Texans -2 against the Vikings. I feel like the Texans still haven't played like a good game. Like through 2 weeks, like they left the door open for the Colts and they left the door open for the Bears too. I think this might be the one where they kind of get back on track. I think the Darnold magic probably comes to an end here.
Are they home?
It's in Minnesota.
It's in the Neil Hunter payback game right here.
That too. Yeah. Was there any updates on Justin Jefferson? I actually didn't even look at that. I just kind of like the spot.
I think he's playing. I don't see.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Playing.
I didn't see anything. Still, again, regardless, I think this might be the Texans. At least a field goal.
Yeah,
I like that. I like the.
Okay.
I'm playing the number more than anything.
I think the Texans definitely get this win. I think Minnesota's going to have a little bit of awakening this week in that matchup. But I mean, we said the same thing last week though, and they beat the Niners.
But I do also think that C.J. Stroud is a much better quarterback than Brock Purdy. So I mean, that's just kind of where that one falls.
I do agree with that stance. That's the one I definitely agree with. So I do think Texans take that pretty handedly. So that's a pretty safe bet, I feel.
Yeah, I like. Like I said, I like these five. So just to recap, there, I got Philly let's try that again. Philly plus 2.5. Chiefs now -3. Seahawks -4.5. Texans -2, and Rams plus 6.5. I don't like having 3 favorites in there, but the favorites that I have, I am a fan.
Fair enough.
And we're gonna get back to being profitable here. Gonna get back on track.
I hope so for your sake. This is why I don't bet.
That's fair. You play the game. You're always a 5-0 week away.
You play to win the game.
Play to win the game. Do we play each other in fantasy this week? We do.
Oh God, I haven't, dude. I wanted to shoot some trades out this week, and I just didn't have time without work.
In the league, I think we were talking about making a move here.
We play in Buss It. That's gonna be great. All right. Do I have any adjustments to make? I don't, because I don't have a quarterback backup.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, so it's exactly what we were talking about.
And you have nothing that I want.
All right. You want? I've tight ends. You want
Evan Ingram, who's questionable and expected not to play?
Yeah, he was still in my lineup. So this game looks a lot worse now than it did a minute ago.
Yeah, this is going to be an ugly little matchup between the two of us here.
Yeah. I have an injured team.
And I will say this, as much as I love Trevor Lawrence, I did take him out of my starting lineup this week. And you want to know for who? Yeah, you see for who?
Minshew Magic,
yeah.
Baby. Dude, it just
we're
looks
playing,
like
we're playing matchups here. We're playing matchups. They're playing Carolina. I'll take Minshew there over Trevor Lawrence in Buffalo.
Yeah.
All right.
So that
you got anything else for us here?
Thing. I got nothing else. I wanted to have a trade live on the show happen. That's going to be tough to do.
I know. Yeah, I was just looking at that. I am once again
league.
Pointing out. Well, I'm not able to pull the other 4 up right now. We are in too many leagues.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my mind. I still got to make my picks for the website. You didn't do that last week.
No, I don't know if I'm going to do it this week either.
Yeah, fair enough. I have to remind
Who's
everybody.
all even doing it?
I don't know. There's like 9 this year, 9 or 10 total.
Oh. Nice, nice. That's more than
So
usually. All right,
that's true.
well, yeah, we're right now. But if you guys want more, come back on Tuesday. We'll
Hell yeah.
have it again.
Talking about good and bad. Um, that may or may not be hanging on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see.
These other two may or may not be hanging come Tuesday too. They did win. Hey,
Mm.
walk off win today. Go O's.
Yeah,
Santander
wow.
hit a walk off. They went 5-3. Maybe this will finally be the game that wakes their asses up.
I mean, you only got 2 weeks of baseball left, so
We got a week and a half. I mean, we got 9 games left and a 4-game cushion for the wild card.
no,
I don't think they're getting the division now. I think they're 5 back of the Yankees.
that's fair. I mean, if it
So
makes you feel any better, Otani, I think, is 1 home run away from the
a
first ever
50-50.
player to do 50-50.
He's insane.
Unbelievable. All right,
It's disgusting.
that's gonna do it for this week, folks.
All right, we'll be back on Tuesday,
Tuesday.
or posting on Wednesday, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Going over
yeah, that's
everything
fair.
here. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's get out of here.